watching Sunday's edition of the 2012 NPPL Surf City Open held in Huntington Beach, California, brought to you by Raza and Derder Productions. Sunday started out with Sacramento Excessive versus New England Avalanche. The first point, Thomas Taylor doesn't feel like going anywhere, so he takes a knee right next to the start gate. Lopez can't make it to the snake and heads to the dead box. Thomas Taylor joins him. Might want to try running next time. Just a thought, maybe? After that, Excessive's 7th fastest player gets to the car wash safely and holds the tape. Avalanche already has the car wash and the Snake 50. With Avalanche crawling up to their end, Excessive's Riley Sullivan tries to take out the Snake but comes up empty. Telford looks at that and says, "What the hell was that?" and just walks off. One of the Bornstein brothers gets shot out by the car wash and tries to get a wipe me down, but the ref says, "No wipey for you." Excessive loses the first game in about 90 seconds. Second game, Avalanche's Alfred De Los Santos takes the car wash quickly and moves all the way down to the Snake 50. Thomas Taylor gets into Snake 1. With no one protecting him, De Los Santos gets murked by the Mohawk. Frank Connell sees the problem and trades out with Thomas, but Excessive still has 2 guys on the tape, and Avalanche knows they're in trouble. Excessive gets to their car wash and gets the kill on the Dorito player. Excessive then tries to plead his case to the refs on the tape, but the head ref doesn't like that.
Red flag.
Fortunately for Excessive, they have enough players remaining, and they get the point and tie it up 1-1 with about 5 minutes to go in the match. Third point, De Los Santos has no problem getting into the car wash and holding down the tape. However, no such luck for our cameraman. Shortly after, De Los Santos gets caught moving up while Excessive has 3 guns on the tape. With only 1 player from Avalanche holding the tape, Excessive's number 911 is free to move around the snake and get shots on the remaining players. With just the corner left, 911 closes out the point. Next point, Thomas the Troll gets the snake and battles with the Dorito side. He shoots the ref and says, "You better call someone out or I'll shoot you again, sucker." The ref complies and Frank Connell takes a walk. Troll bumps and another player gets taken out. With time not in their favor, Avalanche concedes the point and is now down by 2. The next point was a quick one, with Excessive getting down to the opposite end of the snake in less than 30 seconds and rips apart Avalanche. After the point, Troll and Riley Sullivan try to get the crowd pumped up, and nothing pumps up a crowd like a good short bus moment. Tries again, same result. Third try, epic fail. Down by 3, Avalanche needs some serious momentum, and Riley needs another jersey. Even with some fast moves up the field, Avalanche can't dig out Excessive. Excessive chops him up and moves on to the semifinals.
We came out, lost a point. We really messed up and then just turned it around, played smart paintball. We won 4 points in a row. The team's firing off right now. Excessive's going to win it.
The next game in the quarterfinals is Arsenal versus LA Infamous. The first point ended up taking about 7 minutes off the clock. Arsenal's Alex Young quickly gets into the snake while Nicky Cuba tries to stop him from moving up, but can't get a shot on it. Behind Young is Alex Goldman, who holds the line and tells Young to make his move. Run up there and trip and fall and shoot him. Young takes out Patient, and Goldman slowly makes his way down the snake. Once he gets to their end, he makes his move without tripping. Trading out with the car wash, Arsenal takes the first point. Second point, Zach Patient gets to the car wash on the break, and with 2 Arsenal players taken out, he heads down to the 50. Arsenal gets the tape covered and crawls into Snake 1. Zach does a snap and just barely misses. After a couple minutes go by and no one getting killed, Alex Mouse Goldman takes the initiative and runs down Zach and the snake. Zach may have been a little late on the reaction, but whatever. Sorry, Mouse. Get out. Immediately thereafter, another Arsenal player gets the Cyclops courtesy of Nicky Cuba. Nicky tries to get into the snake, but the ref notices a hopper hit. Nicky has full bunker insurance, so the red flag stays in the pocket. Only Abiles and Lemansky are left for Infamous, and then Abiles gets shot and Infamous blows the horn to save time. Next point, Drew Templeton gets his hopper shot and Zach Patient takes a shortcut into the 50 snake. The ref checks his junk for a couple minutes and then calls him clean. Right after that, Zach gets shot in his pod while reloading. However, he's smart enough to drop it like it's hot and keep playing. He doesn't let that extra life go to waste. He gets to the car wash and gets some key eliminations. With time running out, Bobby gets down the tape and takes out the last player. Just over a minute remains and Infamous is still down by 1 point. Infamous needs a quick point here and does just the opposite. Arsenal gets to their spots and Infamous does them a favor and gets a penalty.
Just got knocked out against Arsenal first game. It's one and done. Kind of getting a penalty in the 90 seconds and just a selfish play on my part and let my team, my sponsors down, all my fans and stuff like that. So, it's nothing but on my back. We were down by a point where we could have turned around. We had bodies, we shot bodies on the break, and we were just trying to push the envelope a little bit. And thought a ball bounced, didn't bounce, and should have asked for a check. And turned out that it just took us out of the running.
Next game is X Factor versus Damage. In this back and forth match, both teams relied heavily on the snake side. With the score tied at 1-1, Bernaccia clears out the snake, but meanwhile Damage has cleared out the Dorito side. Grayson Goff has to make a trek from the snake corner all the way over to the other tape to stop them. Doesn't work, X Factor blows the horn. Next point, X Factor gets both Keith Brown and J-Rab heading to the car wash. Meanwhile, Bernaccia is on his way to the 50 snake, and he's got plenty of backup on that tape. Damage has Dave Baines and Jason Edwards still stuck in that same center bunker, and Timmy Props by himself holding down the snake tape against 4 X Factor players. Damage keeps their cool and Edwards takes out Billy. After several minutes, Michael Kovar takes some initiative and gets down to Damage's car wash. Back center isn't big enough for Baines and Edwards, and Kovar gets an easy kill. Damage still has 3 against X Factor's 5, and they almost pull it out. With less than a minute left and Archie running out of paint, X Factor finally gets the last kills and grabs the flag with just a few seconds remaining. There's not enough time for either team to make a push on the next point, and we head into overtime. Damage takes the back 3 bunkers and catches Grayson Goff on the break. From here, Damage makes a couple coordinated moves, and Chad Bussier barely misses Bernaccia.
So we just played X Factor, and they were definitely our hardest match of the whole tournament. It came down to overtime. It was tied 2-2, and we made it go to overtime, which you go to a 3-on-3. And we won the 3-on-3. We got down to, it was a 3-on-1, and Billy almost pulled it off, shot 2 of our guys, and then Jason Edwards, finished out the game and won the 1-on-1. So we go on to the semifinals, and the matches are only going to get harder from here, so we got to tighten up and play a little smarter.
Last game of the quarterfinals is San Diego Dynasty versus Edmonton Impact. First point, Zach stops short of the car wash at the tall can. He tries a little peekaboo over the top, which is always a good idea. He probably shot 3 or 4 people with that move, so it's safe to slip into the car wash. Gets to snake 1 and takes a peek just in time to catch a hot one. Veteran Alex Frazier takes his spot and definitely won't make that same mistake. Scratch that. Veteran Glenn Takamoto takes his spot and definitely won't make that same mistake. Instead, he'll do that and get a penalty. Veteran Ryan Greenspan gets into the corner, but there's no hope. Tim Montresor sends his love and they take the lead 1-0. Next point, Impact gets to their spots on the snake side and Chad George quickly makes it up to the 50 snake. A couple minutes later, Ryan Greenspan sees his opportunity and he gets his kill. The rest of the team follows his lead, and Dynasty ties it up 1-1. The next point, Wake has no problem getting to the Snake 50. Impact tries to sneak a hot one through the crack, but Wake doesn't worry about crack. He takes his time and makes his move. With the help from Frazier and Greenspan, Dynasty has the advantage, and Impact blows the horn with 2 players still alive. Less than 2.5 minutes remain in the game. Final point, Impact needs to make the push quickly or time will run out.
You know, we knew it was going to be a good game. They're a great team. They play us a little slower, which is nice. You know, they beat us the first game, we beat them the next game, pretty methodical game, and then we beat them again. So it was 2-1. I think that last game they had 2 minutes 30 seconds to try and come beat us, and you know, it's tough because you want to hold strong, but you also want to play. And you know, they ended up dinking us out, we ended up dinking them out, and they ended up coming in for a push at the very end, but it was just a little too late. We ended up winning that. I was popped down, and I was supposed to wait, you know, as much time as possible, and make them actually like come literally get me out of that. Although it sucks to get bunkered like that. You know, the time it takes them to run, get me, and then run back to the flag could save a couple seconds, you know, which in turn wins us the game.
Time runs out, Moorhead's not happy about the call, but Dynasty takes the win and they move on to the semifinals. The first semifinals match is Sacramento Excessive versus DC Arsenal. The game started off with both teams pushing hard on the Snake side. Lopez gets into Arsenal Snake and trades out with Alex Young. After this, it turned into an extremely long point with both teams waiting for each other to make a move. However, this all changes when Colin Laster goes flying into the Snake to bunker out Riley Sullivan. Riley takes a walk, but Laster's speedneck takes a crap. He attempts to fix it, but fails at doing so and is forced to play out the rest of this point one-balling. Later in the point, Rich Telford ends up making a run-through down the center and takes out Laster and his busted gun.
Last game we played Excessive. They came out the first match, man. It was a 10-minute long game, 7-man game, you know. So hey, with the new, like I said, felt like an hour. With the new format, you know, it's a learning curve. So they beat us the first point. It was a 10-minute. We only have 5 minutes to try to come back. You know, they sat back and you know, they took it to us. So you know, hats off to Excessive. Good luck. You know, you always hope they win the event if they beat you. You know, so hats off to them, and we'll see them next time.
Excessive wins the match and advances to the finals. The next semifinals match is San Diego Dynasty versus Tampa Bay Damage. First point, both teams make it into the Snake clean and stay calm in their bunkers. Zach Wake makes it to the 51st, but Crack kills and Keith Brown finds the sweet spot, and Zach is killed by Crack. Alex Frazier fills in for Wake, but after making a move to the 50, Keith Brown is tired of shooting Crack, so he runs down Alex. Keith even got shot in the nuts from his teammate after the move. Despite this crotch shot, Damage wins the first point and takes the lead. Next point, Wake gets into the Snake first and J-Rab chills out at the car wash. While Wake is in the Snake, Dave Baines challenged him to a game of I dare you to grab that pod. Sneaky. J-Rab finally bumps into the Snake, but then gets shot from across the field. Right after this, Dalton trades out with the last Dorito player, leaving Dave Baines trapped in the corner. They end up shooting Dave in his new gun cam and tie up the match 1-1. The last point, both teams started out aggressive, but as players began to get eliminated, they both went into defense mode. No reason to force the point and do something stupid. Instead, both teams let time run out, and the match goes into overtime.
We had to play a 3-on-3 game. It was pretty tough. We had a good idea what they were going to do, just kind of spread it across the back. We were kind of, I think, maybe expecting them to move a little bit, but they played smart. They just kind of hung out and just kind of waited for us to make moves. So we got up the field. We were on their side of the field and just kind of putting pressure on them, but we didn't really follow up with the snake side and put more pressure across the field. So we just got dinked out and then lost that game.
Damage wins and moves on to the finals to face off against Excessive. You're watching Derder's coverage of the NPPL Surf City Open, brought to you by Rosin. In the finals, it's Tampa Bay Damage versus Sacramento Excessive to see who takes home the gold. In the first point, Excessive is off to a bad start, with Lopez getting a minor for running away from the ref. After Riley Sullivan fills, J-Rab bunkers the invisible man in the snake, and then gets pulled out for jumping in between the same snake bunkers he has all weekend. Then Keith Brown gets pulled out for the same reason. Dave Baines knows he needs to make something happen and makes a great run through to take out Sullivan and Junior Brown, but he's no match for Rich Telford's ninja skills. He then proceeds to get a minor penalty for arguing the call, and Timmy gets pulled out of the car wash. Excessive wins the first point. Next point, 911 from Excessive beats Damage into the snake side. But after J-Rab notices he is clear from the Dorito side, he tries to make a sneaky move to surprise 911, but gets shot in the process. Low on bodies, Damage decides to concede the point to conserve the time. Next point, Damage pushes hard to try to get a quick point. But Corey Bornstein shows off his sniper skills by killing the entire snake side and winning the point for Excessive. Final point, Damage knows with under 60 seconds left, their fate is pretty much sealed, and as the game ends, it's time to empty those hoppers.
We had 4 guys alive, and obviously we gave them a little extra. I mean, we felt like we played well. It just, sometimes it just doesn't happen for you.
What else is there to say? We won. I have no voice. It's gotten worse. Keith Edward Taylor, show him the medal. Look at that. Show him the medal. Show him. Yeah. Winners. You a winner. He's a winner. We're winners. The best event in the world, Huntington Beach. We've been trying for 7 years to win it again, and we did it. It hasn't been since 2005. So, hey, praise the Lord. I'm happy. Success is on top. Start the year.
Congratulations to Sacramento Excessive for their first place finish. I'm Derder Rob. Thanks for supporting our cause, and we'll see you on the short bus, bitches.